So gradient boosting is one of the algorithms which is most difficult to understand, but I will give you an algorithmic breakup, and I hope you are now familiar with what's happening. Okay, so the first step is building the fast model, and what it tells is L generally always denotes loss function. It is telling that find out and this gamma is a parameter, yi is an actual value. What you are trying to tell is that you find a parameter of the decision tree such that your error is less. And you know what will be such a value? Such a value is always going to be the average value, because that will have the lowest such prediction or lowest such deviation. And then you go step by step, build different models, and the residual is actually calculated through this differential partial derivative. Don't worry about this partial derivative. Okay, so if you actually calculate the residual like the way I said, and you use a standard loss function like MSE, you will see that the residual is same as you calculate the derivative of the loss function of this mean squared error. Okay, so it takes the same shape. Okay, so that's why you need to use a loss function which is differentiable, and then you build trees again and again. And essentially what you are trying to tell over here is that you are now breaking into regions, and like you are using average for the entire tree for the base model. When you are going to a lower level model, you have multiple regions coming in. So region wise average you are taking and adding to the overall model. Okay, so that's how this model actually goes on. Okay, and you get the final model. So this is a visual representation. So you start with such kind of a model. So if you have this actual data, okay, so what happens is that you are taking the average. So this will be the average model that we'll use. Okay, and now the additive model is represented by this. Okay, so the residual also still has similar shape. Okay, so now what happens is it finds out the residual which is like this and tries to fit a model. So and for each region it tries to find kind of average, you see. Okay, so this is its next model. Okay, so it adds this model with this model, and this green model is an addition of these two. Okay, it again now finds out the residual. Okay, so what is the residual? So residual is something like this. So this way it continues, and as you see, the residuals goes on decreasing, and the model also goes on becoming more complex. Okay, so that's how actually the gradient boosting works in a visual representation. Okay, so here is one more example. Okay, which I will go very quickly. So here are the different x and y values. Okay, and uh, this is the output. So what will be the prediction? As I said, the prediction is going to be just the average of this. The average of this is 134. Okay, so my residuals are like this. Now what I do is I actually try to fit a model on this. Okay, I try to feed a model on this minus 52, 54, minus 31, and so on and so forth. So I fit a model where I say if x is less than 23, it is minus 38.25, and if x is greater than 23, then it is 25.5, which is simple average of this. So this is my second level of model that I built in. Okay, and see, that's what now I am bringing over here. So this was my first level prediction. Okay, on this I have fit the next level. This comes to be my first level, second level prediction. Now I'm adding them up. So 134 plus 38 point minus 38.25, 95.75, 134 plus 25.50, 159.50, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is my second level. Okay, and I again calculate the errors. And now I say that if x is less than 34, the error is 6.75, else it is minus 27. Okay, so I again go on building the same thing. Okay, so I feed the H2 now. I have the y minus f1. I feed the which is coming from here. I get the H2 from here, and then I again add all of them up. So 134 plus H1 plus H2. This gives me F2. Okay, and I get the y minus F2. So every step you will see that the residual is going down and down, and that's how step by step gradient boosting works. Okay, and gradient boosting also has lot of lot of parameters. So some of the ways you can regularize a boosting tree, a gradient boosting tree, is you can use a learning rate. So if you don't use a learning rate, okay, so as you see that you increase the boosting iteration, after some time actually the test set error starts going up. Okay, if you use a learning rate, okay, which I said is which is that alpha, you say that you see that that goes down, and then you can also use a sub sample. So you don't fit on the entire sample, but you fit on 50% of them. Something like your bootstrap sample that you get from bagging. Okay, so that makes it more uncorrelated. So the error further goes down when you put more restriction. Okay, so that's the basic idea of ensemble, that more and more restrictions as you bring in, okay, more and more restriction as you bring in, your error will get reduced. So I will give you a very quick comparison with different classifiers and the parameters or hyperparameters they take. Okay, so I will just mention important ones, right? So logistic regression, you can think of penalization, but most important thing is that the threshold value. Okay, that if the probability is 0.5, then you take it as 1 or else 0. K nearest neighbor, n neighbors, right? How many neighbors you are using? So K is an important parameter. Decision tree, minimum weights, fraction leaf. So how many minimum number of samples you need to take to consider it to be leaf. Okay, so that's one. Max feature is one. Random forest, how many estimators are you going to use? Okay, add a boost, number of estimators, learning rate, gradient tree boosting, learning rate, number of estimators, what kind of loss function you are using, max depth that you are allowing a tree to have. Max features is whether you will take the best node split or you can allow some random kind of splitting. So all these can be parameters. Okay, and this is from one of the results where different classifiers were compared. Okay, different classifiers were compared on standard data sets. Okay, and they were compared in terms of rank. Okay, so if it has given a best rank, then rank value is 1. Okay, best accuracy, and if it has given worst rank, then it is accordingly. If it is 10 classifiers, it is 10, like that. Okay, and if you see, you'll see that so this is the median value, right? You know from box plot already, this is the median value, right? So in terms of rank, gradient tree boosting was best actually, followed by random forest, followed by support vector, classifier, extra trees, stochastic gradient descent, decision tree, and so on and so forth. Okay,